WMUC Sports Men's Lacrosse Insider. I'm Steven Dilsizian, and this past weekend the Terps fell to the Yale Bulldogs with a final score of 8-5. Your key stats from the game: junior midfielder Colin Heacock with 2 goals, junior attackman Matt Rambo 1 goal, 3 assists. But other than that, not much offensively. Overall, the Terps are going to need more contributors to create a more balanced and respected offense, especially with number 1 Notre Dame coming up. The offense seemed to struggle in the second half against Yale, while defensively they had some errors that allowed the Bulldogs to definitely run away with this game. I was able to talk to senior defenseman number 22, Greg Danseglio, who gave me his piece on the recent loss against Yale. Tough loss at Yale this past weekend. What does it feel like, throughout the team locker room having an early loss like that, and are you guys approaching practice any differently now?
I think there was just a mindset where, personally, I felt like I didn't play well enough to win that game, and I think that other people felt the same way. So I think there's just a new focus, a different drive this week in practice, more competitive, so to make sure we come out on top on Saturday against Notre Dame.
Danseglio talked to me for a few, mainly about how many players thought they could have played better and at a higher level. He also emphasized this new focus in practice coming off of the loss and this increased level of competition. This recent schedule for the Terps has been difficult. It started with a win versus High Point, now a loss at Yale, and now they have number 1 Notre Dame coming up this weekend. But this high level of competition is exactly what Maryland needs to prepare them for the regular season and beyond. There have been a couple of early bright spots this season, including senior goalkeeper Kyle Bernlohr, who kept the Terps in this game this past weekend with 7 big saves. Danseglio talked to me about his value to the defense. Goalie Kyle Bernlohr, he had 7 big saves this past week. What's it like having a guy like that in the cage, where even if the defense does have a little lapse, that he's there to be able to make a big save for you guys?
Kyle's just a great attribute to our defense. He's a great saver, great clearer, great communicator. I think that having him in the net gives us a little bit more confidence, but we're trying to really help him out by giving him shots that we know he can save and put him in a position where he can succeed.
There's no doubt that the reigning Kelly Award winner is a huge piece to this team. Bernlohr got this recognition after he had a Maryland record for 15 games won last season, and he's going to need a repeat performance or something even close to that if Maryland wants to get back to that national championship game. But on a different note here, Maryland did lose their senior faceoff man, Charlie Rafa, this year, and in comes a freshman, number 18, Austin Henningson, who has been able to hold his own so far in this young season. Henningson talked about how he and Rafa would work out together, as both of them are from Long Island, New York, and how they both keep in touch, as Rafa would shoot him a text before and after every game. Henningson, the freshman faceoff specialist, went 13 for 16 this past weekend against Yale and was voted co-freshman of the week. I was able to talk to Henningson about his recent success and about his fellow freshman teammates. Off to a great start this season, 13 for 16 against Yale and co-freshman of the week. Congratulations on that. It looks like the freshman pressure hasn't fazed you at all. Is that fair to say?
No, definitely it has. I mean, it's nerve-wracking going out there as a freshman, but I say once you get into it, maybe like halftime, you just get a groove. It's all about getting a groove down and you get settled. But everyone's nervous out there. Even if you're a senior, you're nervous. Everyone has a little nerves enough.
You, along with a lot of the other freshmen this season, are you guys have a pretty big workload. How are you guys specifically dealing with that?
Definitely putting a lot of work in. A lot of these guys are much more physical than us. Because we're 19. These guys are in the 20s and older than us. But we gotta get in the weight room. We're working on our shooting. All the old guys working on their shooting. I'm working on my craft piece and after practice. Even though we do a lot of face-offs in practice, I'm always trying to get more work in, more.
How many sticks have you broken so far?
That's a tough. I'm gonna say 10 at the least.
10.
Yeah.
I'll ask you that question later on in the season. We will definitely get updates along the way on how many broken sticks Austin racks up this season, and we'll get a good look at just how good this freshman is this weekend as the Terps take on number 1 Notre Dame in California this Saturday. The Terps visit the West Coast for the Pacific Coast Shootout, where last year, during spring break, the Terps were able to defeat number 2 UNC with a final score of 10-8 and enjoy themselves the rest of the weekend in the sun. Unfortunately, this go-around is a little bit different, and the Terps must treat this time like a business trip rather than a vacation. Coach Tillman is 3-0 versus number 1 ranked teams, allowing an average of 7 goals in those victories. Let's see if Coach Tillman and company can keep the streak going against number 1 powerhouse Notre Dame.